Day 3, day 4.
Last day of Comic-Con. It's gonna be a light day, but it's gonna chill.
Gonna meet Zachary who?
Zachary Levi.
Shazam.
Panel. Be fun.
Yup.
See how it goes.
Bums.
Now I can't pledge allegiance to your flag, cause I can't find no reconciliation with your past. When there was nothing equal for my people in your math. You forced us in the ghetto, and then you took our dads.
Zachary Levi.
Download. But to meet Shazam.
Yeah. Get one of ours.
What's up, New York Comic Con? We come to these conventions because we care, right? I mean, we're dressed up in cosplay because we love these IPs, we love these worlds, we love these characters, and that is awesome. And we should never change that. We should be encouraging that. We should be encouraging people's creative expression and their passion for these worlds. What's unfortunate is that I think built into a lot of that, and just kind of where we're at in the world right now, is there's a lot of insecurities that are fueling a lot of fears that fuel a lot of hate. And with that hate, and with the fears of what's gonna happen with these characters, what's gonna happen with these shows, is it gonna be exactly the way I want this to be? That starts manifesting in a tremendous amount of negativity. And that negativity is only going to divide us further. It's only going to keep us from good things. And we have to keep that in check. We have to understand that none of these characters belong to any one of us. None of these shows belong to any one of us. And sometimes these shows, I mean, you know, Captain Marvel, Shazam, has been around for a really, like, I'll just speak from personal experience, it's been around for a really long time. There's a lot of fans and the iterations of the character have run the gamut. So how do me and David and Peter Safran and everybody at New Line, how do we make a version that's gonna please everyone? It's impossible to do that. But what we can, at the very least, I think, what we can hope is that people would be somewhat open-minded, that people would be patient. And I think maybe even most importantly, and this is something I'm, after going through a lot of therapy and working on self-love and therefore being able to hopefully love other people even more, I think it's very important that we remember this, very important that we remember this. Everyone is doing the best that they can. That might sound like a bunch of bullshit, but I'm not lying, guys. Every single person that you meet is literally living life to the best of their ability with the tools that they've been given. And some of us have been given a really shit set of tools. And that just is what it is. And now imagine that on just a base fundamental life lesson, right? Now that can go into entertainment. Now a lot of people have very divisive ideas of, oh, that fucking movie, that guy, that should have been this and that should have been that. And by the way, and I'm guilty too. There have been so many movies that I've gone to or shows that I've watched and I've been like, oh my God, how much time do they even spend thinking about this? Or how much time do they work on that or whatever? And by the way, look, sometimes people do take shortcuts and they're cheap and they're easy about it. And I don't think that's okay. And I think it is appropriate for us to hold people accountable to work ethic and hold people accountable to at least putting the effort in. But sometimes, a lot of times, people are working their asses off to make the very best thing that they think that they're making for all of us. It just happens to not be your cup of tea. And that's just tough. Just because it's not your exact flavor that you love doesn't mean it's not millions of other people's favorite flavor. And so if we can wrap our heads around that just a little bit and have some grace and some patience with each other. Because man, we are in dire need of that, guys. We are all at each other's throats, you know? So, when you have very passionate people, and us nerds, we're the most passionate people in the world. We love these worlds. We live and die by these worlds. We spend copious amounts of dollars to adorn our walls with comics and posters and signatures and pictures and own the entire collector's editions and all of that stuff. And I think that's fucking great. but we have got to at least give people the opportunity to try and create something from their own hearts. And if you don't like it, by the way, I mean, this goes back to, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. Like, you don't have to show up on social media and bash something. Why do people need to do that? You don't need to do that. You don't. This is the beautiful thing. This is one of the beautiful things about capitalism, even though it's got some really screwed up things going on in it right now. But one of the beautiful things about capitalism is that money talks, man. If you don't like something, don't buy it. They won't make it anymore. I'm not kidding. If you don't like something, if you don't like a TV show, don't fucking watch it. It'll get yanked off the screen that fast. But you don't need to go online. But by the way, particularly when it comes to like an actor, we don't even write this stuff. We're just showing up doing the best we can. But we end up being the face of the franchise. And so then we get the hate. It's like, ew, I can't believe you. And that's why people end up, bouncing. I try to filter that as much as I can and know. I tell myself when I'm getting a lot of hate, it's coming from fear. They're not a bad person, they're just afraid. And there's, like when all this stuff, there was a whole thing on social media when the suit came out and people were bashing me in the suit, and I was like, I know that that's because they're just afraid. They're afraid that this thing that they love so much is not gonna be what they want it to be. And I'm not gonna hate them back, but I'm also not gonna stand here and be hated on. I'm gonna stand my ground and say, hey, have a little respect for the fact that I'm a human being, and don't talk to me as if I'm not. And let's all treat each other like we are human beings. Thank you for your question.
Final Fantasy? That's the end of all 4 days of Comic-Con. It's been a fun trip, right? Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, yeah. A lot of good stuff. And we'll be putting up all the coverage soon. Tomorrow, we'll be putting up all the interviews we took throughout the weekend, so it's going to be pretty good. Frank.
Yeah, hello guys.
Hello guys.
Actually, we got Venom after this.
We got Venom, yeah.
Meal.
Just got seeing Venom. Give her a reaction on Twitter and put it on the podcast tomorrow. We'll discuss it more. Yeah.
Sounds good.
So from myself, from Zayan, from Umar, from Samir, and our boy Harris.
Yes.
That's it. Comic Book Bay.
Yes, to
See you around.
Peace out.